grab some meat or whatever you need. I'm Corey, and it's time to get into it. So today we have a bit of Diablo 2 Resurrected news. We have the ladder that is going to start here in just a few days, the ladder season 1, first ladder of Diablo 2 Resurrected. And with this comes news of 5 million copies being sold of the game. 3 of them purchased by myself. So not 3 million, just 3 single copies. This is great. This is fantastic news. Now, we know that Diablo 2 set actually a record for how many copies of the game that it sold, the original Diablo 2. And so it's not surprising to me that Diablo 2 Resurrected has sold 5 million copies. Now, comparatively to a lot of games that are coming out nowadays, it's not that much, but it's still a pretty substantial amount. I know that there are some things that people are still left wanting from the game, but this is still huge news and this is great, especially with Ladder coming out in 4 days. So let's go ahead and let's read through this story. It says Blizzard reports high Diablo 2 Resurrected sales since the RPG game released 6 months ago. In fact, as of this month, it has sold over 5 million copies, which is great going for an old PC game whose re-release struggled with server issues. And that's very true. I remember making some rage videos regarding the game. Let's read through the rest of this, though. I just got to make sure that, there we go, the focus is not changing for the camera. If you like what I'm doing here, remember, like, share, comment, subscribe. So it does go on to state, after the tumultuous launch of Warcraft 3 Reforged, Diablo 2 Resurrected was far better received by the Blizzard community despite the various server problems that accompanied its launch in September of 2021. And this is very true. That's because the game, even though it did have some server issues, even though it did have some problem, for the most part, the game worked. Another huge thing that they didn't do that with Diablo 2 Resurrected that they did with Warcraft 3 is they didn't take the old servers offline. Now, if you're still just trying to play old standard Diablo 2, Diablo 2 Lord of Destruction, or even one of the various different mods for the game that are out there, you can still do so. They're still online, the servers are still going, you can still play these. But another thing that they did is this wasn't done by by Blizzard's in-house classic game studios. This was actually outsourced to Vicarious Visions. Vicarious Visions have done fantastic things. Now, Vicarious Visions has actually been absorbed by Blizzard. They've become a part of Blizzard, and they're a Blizzard office. I think it's Blizzard Albany, but regardless, let's read through. Continue reading. It says it's gone from strength to strength with this month's release of 2.4, finally adding ranked competitive ladder system in the first balance change the developer has made to Diablo 2 since 2010. Now, this balance change is great. There's a lot of updates, and instead of nerfing things, which is a big problem that I see a lot of things doing, is that they actually nerf things down. Instead of making the game, instead of taking things that people want to try out and making them stronger, what they tend to do is they take things that people already play a lot and they nerf them down. That's what you see across the board with a lot of different RPGs, ARPGs, MMORPGs, shooter games. They take the favored skills, the favored builds, and they nerf them down to make them a bit weaker while also bringing the other builds up a little bit. This, what they did is they just kind of reshuffled a lot of weaker builds and made them a lot stronger. The strong builds, they haven't been made weaker. Instead, what they've done is they've tried to make other builds come up to par. Are they? Not so much. A couple of them are far superior to what they used to be, but few and far between that has happened with. What you'll notice is that a lot of these standard overpowered builds are still going to be the standard overpowered builds. There's just a couple more to add into the upper tiers, A, B, C, or A, B, S tier builds. It goes on to state, the community seems to have responded favorably to the remaster, and Blizzard reports via Windows Central that Diablo 2 Resurrected has sold over 5 million copies as of April 2022, just over 6 months after the game's release in September. That is literally the same thing that the first paragraph said. It's an impressive milestone for sure, and it took the eagerly awaited Diablo 3 just under 2 years to sell 15 million copies, which had console versions too. The difference, though, is that people didn't know what to expect with Diablo 3. They expected a lot more than what we got. That's fine, though. Diablo 3 has its fan base. It has its players that enjoy the game. Diablo 2 is more of... I'd say it's more particular with its fan base, but having 5 million copies is still big. All of which is possibly why D2R, co-developer Vicarious Visions, was absorbed into Blizzard earlier this month and now goes by Blizzard Albany, as I stated a little bit ago. The studio is now expected to provide, quote, long-term support, unquote, to Blizzard on Blizzard games exclusively. And then it goes on to talk about some other shit that has absolutely nothing to do with this. So this is big. This is great. I love Diablo 2 Resurrected. That's just others. I thought that there would be some comments on here, which doesn't look like there are. I thought that there would be more copies sold quicker, but at the same time, I kind of understand why there hasn't been. I expect sales to go up a lot. Not as much as some people may expect, but I expect them to continue going up with the launch of Ladder Season 1. If they actually opened it up and let us have mods, like more mods for the game, like Project Diablo 2 on Diablo 2 Resurrected, that would be a huge reason for more people to buy the game. But that hasn't happened. If they add some more quality of life, such as maps, we need an in-game system. Making more level 85 areas, sure, that's good. Upping the amount of elite mobs in those areas, sure, that's good. But it's not the same as having a mapping system. That is why some of these mods are such beloved mods, is because they completely reshuffle the high-end capable builds. They completely add new things, and they have a mapping system. They have a system that is an entirely new in-game, I guess system would be the best way to describe it. It's the same as in Path of Exile. You go around, you'll get randomly dropped items that you throw into a device, and then you can run maps. That's huge. That's a huge, huge thing that we don't have in Diablo 2 currently. If they give that, I expect sales to go up a lot more. But it is what it is. Anyways, like I said, like the video, subscribe to the channel, share this video with your friends. Let me know in the comment section down below what you're thinking about this, if you think more sales are coming, what you plan on going with when ladder season starts here in a few days. And yeah, that's going to be the video. So I'll catch y'all in the next one. I'm out.